And we're back! All right! Hail, Star Troopers! My name is Conrad. It's 5 a.m. here in the City of Angels alongside my friend Fox. This is the second hour of the Space Spinner Starlordathon, a live stream where two Americans discuss the UK sci-fi comic Starlord one issue at a time. This hour, we're covering Starlord issue 2. Cover date, May 20th, 1978. This time, we're... just making sure that I'm showing up here.
You are showing up. You are live.
Good. Okay, this time we're checking out the dawn of the Mind War, burning London, dropping time bombs, impressing generals, and getting to know the wildlife of the planet of the damned.
What the hell?
Listen, now is the time. You can find the comics we covered today in Strong Team Dog SCHC Files 1, Robusters Volume 2, Planet of the Damned, and the Planet of the Damned Collection, and the Judge Dredd Magazine 408 and 409. And this hour, we're joined by friend of the show, James. Welcome aboard.
Woo!
Hello.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it. We're going to try to have guests a bunch of times throughout the show, a bunch of folks who have been on the show previously, a couple other 2000 AD related podcasters, other things like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. James, I was wondering if you could share your Starlord history with us.
Well, I would have been reading 2000 AD before this, and I think my newsagent. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so I would have been reading 2000 AD before Starlord, and I would have picked it up from a newsagent, local newsagent, Mark's newsagent, and I think he would have told me that there's a new comic, which was Starlord, and it was really attractive. It was really glossy, just slightly different to 2000 AD, which was it wasn't like this at all. It was pretty dreary compared to Starlord, although what was inside was excellent. And I just started reading that as well, and it was I loved it from the very beginning. I mean, we'll talk through it as we go through it, but it had a lot of the same ingredients as 2000 AD, a lot of the same tropes. And for me, I was 10, just turned 10. Great.
Right.
It was absolutely spot on. So we'll get into it to go along, but that's basically where I was. So I would have got it from number one, and I can't remember what sticker it was. I would have got something like a tank commander. I was into tanks at the time.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah. So there you go.
Even if you don't have your original sticker, I officially name you a robot regiment controller in Star-Lord's army.
Okay.
Damn.
Everyone's coming on, getting their name commemorated. All right, so a big cover, two-part cover, like someone said it, like Steve Green said in the chat. Brian Ballin drawing some Time Quake stuff here. 2 parts. First, we got the free gift, the space calculator, and then the giant Droon face looking over our Time Quake friends. Look out, guys!
Space calculator. Space calculator.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
What? You don't calculate
This is
space?
unexciting.
It is as unexciting as you imagine.
Well,
That's like the worst gift.
So basically, you line up
go ahead, please.
you line up a planet. You line up a planet, and it tells you basically what the rotation of the day is, how many miles it is from the sun, the number of moons, etc. So yeah, that's basically it. But you're going to need it if you're going to survive.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You got to know these facts if you're going to figure out. Like, what if you find yourself on a random planet? You look up in the sky and you're like, "Oh man, what planet am I on? I better see what size. I better see what size the sun is in the sky, so I know what the planet is."
It's a slightly unambitious because I think it's just it's slightly unambitious, Conrad, because it's our solar system. That's basically it.
Well, I mean, you know. I do like how one of the very first letters that Star-Lord gets takes him to task for having imperial units instead of metric in this calculator. For the record,
Wow.
But enough of that. Oh man, these free gifts. This covers, but it pales in comparison to Blueprint 1, Mind Wars.
Cannot wait for all the mind warring to start.
Script, I should. There aren't robots here. Script, Alan Hebden. Art, Jesus Redondo. Lettering, Pete Knight. Really hard for me to not call them robots, y'all. So, two classic early 2000 AD creators who didn't work together a ton in the galaxy's greatest, but go together great here. It's 3000 AD. Screw that other comic. We're in the future.
Yeah.
And the human-dominated Stellar Federation, presumably different from the evil Instel Fed that Starlord fights, but not that much different based on what we're going to see in the course of Mind Wars. But they're locked in war with the definitely evil Juggler Empire. Humanity's doing pretty well, but the Juggler home world is unknown, so they're just sort of swatting squadrons when they can, but they don't really know where to totally fight.
He's got a little baby dragon on his shoulder. What's going on? That guy's awesome.
That's Klee Fang. He's my favorite.
Wow.
On Earth, the federal controller, Dr. Varn, says they got to keep most of their ships back to protect the home world until they can strike at the home of the Juggler, so it's a cosmic stalemate. The head of the Juggler Empire, Cosmo Narutha, I should say,
Whoa.
is in a similar situation. And we see these guys, they've got like kind of baboon faces, kind of very lizardy. And they're also caught in the stalemate. No one really likes it. But he does. But one of his ministers have a plan. They'll hit two likely young humans with primary neural irradiation.
What?
Always works.
This is the key. Obviously.
What is primary neural irradiation?
I think, yeah, that's a fair point. It's a very fair point.
Wow.
It gives you exceptional mental powers, obviously.
Yeah.
Later,
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Sound like a bad.
Hold on, buddy. This is the story. On the peaceful world of Volkrugan, brother and sister Arlen and Ardeni are hanging out, swimming in a space pool. Oh my!
Back.
And Ardeni,
Yes, and rather. I think as a 10-year-old that would have passed me by, but no, looking at it now, it's quite suggestive, isn't it?
I can't this is the dichotomy of Mind Wars, because on one side, Ardeni is a really awesome, like what we'd call like a strong female character in 2020, but on the other hand, like she does get naked a fair amount in the course of Mind Wars. Like this is the truth.
Yeah.
Damn. All right.
But.
Yeah.
As
brother and sister, they're quite intimate, aren't they?
They hang out. They don't even know. But so the juggler, oh geez, hit them with the irradiation. Oh no! Everything blows up. Destroy their house.
Radiation doesn't explode things,
They
though.
blow up the teen's house, and then they come down and blast them with the irradiation. Primary neural irradiation has been absorbed into their bodies.
Do you know what? Just a couple of things I'd say about this. I remember when I was a kid, these juggler, they always reminded me of the apes from
Planet of
Wizard
the
of
Apes?
Oz. No.
Oh.
Do you remember the little monkeys, the witches' monkeys from Wizard of Oz?
Oh,
Yeah.
the flying monkeys. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the flying monkeys. They remind me of those. And that's all like.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed that.
I can see that for sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
exactly. Because they were people like in this like intense amount of makeup. They definitely have that look.
Yeah. I will say this is the start of the of Mind Wars' inevitable comparisons to Star Wars. Very Star Wars influenced is Mind Wars, starting from the childhood home being blown up and parents killed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the twins absorb this irradiation, I guess, but then a human interceptor's coming out after them, and we get the first of Mind Wars classic, which is basically in Mind Wars, pretty much all the ships can explode into smaller ships.
What?
We see that here as this interceptor blows a bunch of smaller, like missile ships off to take out this juggler thing. It hits it. Instant fusion or fission. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, back on the ground, the siblings are waking up and they see one of the pods from the ship sort of crashing down on them. But as it goes to hit them, Arlen acts fast and levitates the ship out of danger with his mind.
I mean, he just, I guess, he knew that he could do that.
He just does it automatically, you know?
Oh.
Yeah.
A few minutes later, the authorities arrive. They announce the pilot of the ship is dead.
I mean, it was wreckage at the time.
But our Denny won't accept that, so she puts her hand on the pilot's head, and he comes back to life.
Oh my God, this comic is getting.
Have you noticed the actual shot there? When she's over him with her cleavage. Sorry, that's a piece of salacious, but do you know what I mean? I thought,
good times. Listen, it's like
Exactly.
Mind Wars is kind of for the fellas. But, yeah, the kids have gained great.
and by the way, it's just occurred to me. Is it just the art, Conrad, or does it just remind me of Return to Armageddon?
I mean, it's very much that's just the Redondo style. Like Redondo's drawing this sci-fi fantasy stuff. So there is a lot of, there's a lot of pieces. Just like our Denny does have some similarities to like Eve, who was the the lady at the end of Return to Armageddon for sure. But I think that's more just a Redondo's pen at work here.
What gets me is that the guard or the using Grokken and creepies and did you notice that? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's very but even as a kid that would have been very American to me. Yeah. It's not English at all.
It's very tough guys. Yeah. So the kids have gained huge power. It must be juggler based. They probably killed their own parents, all those jerks. But our Denny won't accept this slander. So instead, she turns her baleful eyes on the soldier. Going to see this kind of thing a lot in the course of Mind Wars. And then his gun burns white hot, but luckily another soldier's there, hits both the kids with a stun ray. There's only one thing to do, and that's send them to a planetary inquisition, because then we'll find out what they're up to, and when they do, they'll wish they'd never been born. Next time on Mind Wars.
That's it.
What a great thing to do to children.
Always. My mind, I'm losing my mind. Crazy Mind Wars action.
It is. It's a good one. But I know it's like going back to the language aspect. That you can see that the editor who edited Starlord.
Kelvin Gosnell was.
Kelvin Gosnell.
And 2080 at this time.
Yeah, he was trying to develop their own language again, like Grokken. We didn't have that in 2008, I'm sure, did we? And we had no creepy. We had creepies. Have we had creepies yet?
I don't know. I don't remember that one very well. Again, it's very much remembering back to 1970 to 1978 and those early.
No, so we certainly wouldn't use that. That wasn't a common term at all.
Interesting.
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah. So love it.
Definitely. Yeah. So let's go to our next story: Blueprint 2, Timequake.
Oh man, frogs with teeth
and forearms. Script Chris Louders, Jack Adrian, art John Cooper, lettering Peter Knight. Story starts. We got a color spread, some good second person narration as the Druids arrive and start wrecking shop. We get a repeat of poor old Marcus getting. He doesn't even get mentioned. Just this team has always just had 3 people on it, guys.
He's dead now. He doesn't exist anymore.
That's right. Blocker rolls over Blocker sort of rolls over to the rest of the humans. Vinda pulls a switch surrounding the crew in a force field, but they'll have to leave it at some point to get to the time warp or to escape. I mean, they could use their time straps, their wrist things, which can warp them up to 500 years away, but need an hour to recharge. That's not really helpful 85 million years ago, basically.
So is it like 500 years away from your current present position? So you'd have to like wait an hour and then jump another 500?
Yeah. So not really so you can't really go anywhere when you're 85 million years in the past, you know?
Got to wait a lot of hours.
Yeah. Blocker gets a strap and then has an idea. He turns off the force field outside the time station, letting that sweet Tyrannosaur from last issue in.
It's so mean.
I tell you, I absolutely love this when I was a kid. Just seeing the Druid in the hands of the Tyrannosaur.
Oh, getting ripped apart.
Yeah, starts running amok. We see him like eating a dude here. It's pretty solid.
And then Blocker sticks his cigar up his nostril.
Oh,
definitely.
That's a power move.
Oh, yeah.
There's a power move. But by the way, did you notice? I don't know if you had picked this up. Isn't Blocker very much like Savage?
Oh, I mean,
got a very Savage feel for sure.
Did you say that in the first episode? The first?
No, I think we might have mentioned it a little bit, but definitely not. Definitely like not extensive. But this one definitely does feel like Savage with time travel for sure.
A man out of time, out of space.
Well, he's got all the savage moves. He's like this normal guy, but he's doing all these great things, heroic things, And the way he speaks as well, you catch on fast, sunshine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Instead of driving a truck, he drives a boat.
Oh man! Other than that, he's the same. Yeah. Definitely cut from that same Dredger Savage Blocker cloth. Dredger.
Do you know what he doesn't? He looks like Dredger, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean they all do. They're all these dark-haired kind of working class Brits that punch first and ask questions rarely.
Yeah.
But so they managed to clear the way to the time portal. They warp to another time base, one that's already been attacked by the Droon. And the Droon will be hot on their heels coming through the time warp thing. So Blocker puts a table and a filing cabinet right in the area where
this is brilliant.
Where the time portal's going to come in.
Oh no!
And when they do, they just warp right into the middle of it. Oh jeez.
I can. Do you know what? I have got a spot of time. I remember this panel. I loved it. It was just brilliant.
Very good. I love when people just warp in through things. Always fun.
But not only is he actually he materialized inside the cabinets, he also explodes as well.
Absolutely. That's the key. The crew stumbles out of the base and into 17th century London, as you do. Blocker wants to know how that Droon that he jabbed the cigar into its nose knew his name. It knew that he was named Blocker, and that's weird.
I mean, I feel like they're time people. They've got that on lock.
You'd think so, but still. And Vinda says that the Droon must have met him in the future or something like that, the real one, where everything works. Right. Yeah, and explains that, and I just want to say they quickly re-explained the plot, just that Blocker ferried the assassin that called World War III. What's that, James?
No, I was saying that, no, I'll wait till you get to the end, actually, and I'll say what I was going to say, because, sorry. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah. So we quickly learn, as they get to moving, they see that these time base is on Pudding Lane, and it's 17th century London. So that means that this fire that from the explosion of the time base caused the Great London Fire. Oh no!
Well, that's it. What I was going to say. I mean, we've seen this so many times in time travel things, but I remember as a kid loving the American TV series Time Tunnel. Do you boys know that one?
I don't know if I remember that one.
I've never heard of it.
Definitely before my time, just because.
Do look it up, but it's from the 60s. It's all on the Twilight Zone era. Do you know what I mean? And these two guys I love the opening. They would go to this secret base in the desert in America, Arizona somewhere, Nevada, and they'd be this big time tunnel which would take them to different places in history. But this is very much, how the comics used to pick up on things that were popular at the time.
Oh yeah.
Of course, we were getting those. I definitely remember reruns of Time Tunnel in the 70s, which is fantastic. But I love the ending as well, because it's the same way. The ending with the for us, St. Paul's Cathedral, that is. It's a bit like the end of Planet of the Apes, isn't it? When you see the statue.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So they use their
great trope. But this is just.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah. That's right. I don't want to talk over you too much. I'm sorry.
Not at all. But I'm just saying this wouldn't have, although I wouldn't have at the time been able to articulate any of that, would have appreciated it as a kid, because it was part of what we were consuming.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So they were pretty much on the pulse of kind of that sci-fi consumption that was going on at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
they're
right.
definitely trying to get in there for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Any angle. But still, kids like me would have been lapping it up, really. Yeah.
Totally. So they hit their time straps and warp to back to 1978, and as Blocker realizes it, and so as they arrive, they're in the remains of 1978 London. It's a mess, and now that we've seen that, it's time to stop it from happening. Next time on Timequake, now I know what it feels like to blow a fuse.
Okay. I mean, I feel like the main goal of them the whole time was to stop it from ever happening.
I mean, it's very much like, oh, maybe you missed the first issue, so we're going to do a lot of like recapping just so we know where we're going from here. You know,
I forgot that's a very that was very much in the 70s.
It's a week later, and then not everyone's guaranteed to have bought the initial thing. You know, that takes us to our first Star Facts here. Hail, Star Troopers! Starlord explains the free prize, which we talked about. This calculator, how to use it, all that stuff. And then on the opposite page is a multiple choice test for Robot Regiment controllers like James. Oh, man.
Well, you know, I actually got 27 out of 30 when I did this recently.
Oh, damn.
But what I know, what can I say? But basically, I thought that I lost an arm. And instead of actually, I thought I should just staunch it with a medikit, but in fact I should have actually taken a spare arm from one of my droids.
It's a big problem with
recycle your friends.
Yeah, come on,
exactly.
Get out of here. Definitely, yeah. Okay, cool. I'm glad you took it. I was sort of thinking, could we take this as a group? But it would take a while to read them all out, just because there's a lot of words and stuff like that. Maybe later.
There is. Yeah, as Fox would say, it's far too many words.
Yeah, it is far too many words. That is correct.
Them all, absolutely. Well, let's tune the words down and get back to action here with Blueprint 3, Strontium Dog.
Oh, just enough.
Come on, there we go. Script by John Wagner's TV Grover, art by Carlos Oscara, learning about Jack Potter. So we start off with a bit of history of the mutant people in this world. Again, like the story that we've sort of seen a billion times now, Great War in 2150 caused strontium-90 to spread all over the world, causing mass mutation in humans. They're heavily discriminated against, but, eventually the strongest of the mutants are brought on as bounty hunters, search-destroy agents, also known derogatorily as strontium dogs. Johnny, Alpha, and Wolf are following the info they got last issue to go after the evil Max Quirk. They burst into Suite 1A, but Max is waiting for them. And he's got a sweet kind of mustache handlebar.
I like that.
But you can see again this Oscara coloring with these really strong reds and purples and yellows and stuff like that as well.
This pink suit is so great.
He's living it up. So, he escapes. Johnny grazes him with a stun beam because he's got to be brought in alive. But Max explains that he blew up a city with a P-bomb. So they'll execute him when they get him back, basically. So, he's not
in the vapor chamber.
That's the worst place.
I've got to say, just to interject here.
Please.
Straight away, Strontium Dog was awesome for me. I mean, just like Judge Dredd became great in 2000 AD, in this Strontium Dog, from the very first episode, this was just great. The whole imagery of it all as well, the way it's presented. Look at him just stood there. Just something about him. It's a really iconic character.
Yeah, I mean,
and for me, for me as a kid as well, I think remember who this is aimed at. It's aimed at the kids of that age, usually boys. The sort of like the dichotomy of the norms and and the freaks and the muties was really easy to access, and so really clear. So I loved it.
Absolutely. I think like I said last hour, if Strontium Dog feels very fully formed, like this could be like this is just sort of it's more Monster of the Week stuff, but it is very much the Strontium Dog we're familiar with as time goes by.
And Carlos Oscara designs amazing characters.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's very interesting how so much of what later became, fully formed, like in the Mutant Wars and everything else, and the Revolution, is here.
Yeah,
it's already there, straight out of the first prog. It's brilliant. And sort of the weaponry as well, as you say, fully formed. Fantastic.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. So Max bursts through an apartment window where a mom and her kid are talking to truancy robots. Max takes them hostage, but Johnny has a plan. He looks through the wall with his alpha vision, readies a time bomb, and tosses it in.
Hell yeah!
Classic time bomb stuff. Quirk disappears. Okay.
I love this because I'm a teacher myself. But I love what it says this, right? So we need a few droids to go around the houses and sort the kids out. But But I love this here. Your child missed 4 days at preconditioning school.
Gotta get ready.
Do
That's
you know
the
what I mean?
answer.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
so great.
oh, I love it. Okay, but also I did appreciate that, this sort of like really officious droid. But is it my imagination, or I remember when Johnny starts off, he's got this ability to see through walls. Mm-hmm. He can go into the mind of the recently dead, can't he? Am I right?
Yeah, well, he
does that in the first episode, doesn't he?
Last time we saw him use a time thing to bring a dead guy back to life and then read his mind. I don't think he can actually do it to the dead at this point. We haven't seen that, but he can make you not dead periodically and then read your mind, and then you die again.
But the thing is it my imagination, or did he sort of like, did the strips sort of like reduce that as it went along? It just it wasn't, later on, we didn't really use much of him, be able to see through walls and things like that. Or am I imagining that?
No, I mean, I think like he still kind of has the alpha vision, but I think it becomes less of a main feature. Like he becomes less of a superhero, I guess, as time goes by.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
because these early ones are very superhero-y, where Johnny Alpha has these eye abilities, and that's the key. But later, like he has them occasionally. I mean, even in the final solution, he's using his eyes to scan that Lyran, the big demon, and then because of that, like he has some problems with them. But they're still like, but they're definitely less emphasized, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, this definitely feels like we need to hit the checkbox for time-based, awesome thing that we use, and a little bit of powers.
Yeah. But so he uses the time bomb, classic Strontium Dog time bomb. My favorite thing, where Quirk disappears and reappears 2 days later in deep space because the planet's moved on. All that remains is a frozen solid Max and the truancy robot demanding answers.
Explain.
I always love that in Strontium Dog, traveling through time doesn't necessarily mean traveling in space.
So
back on the planet. Oh my God, where am I? Yeah, back on the planet, the mom thanks Johnny for helping him, but then stops when she realizes that he's a nasty mutant. The kid is much nicer, though, and thanks him fully. At the police HQ, Johnny gets his blood money and is told not to come back.
Wait, what? They hire him. They put out the bounty. You can't then chastise a bounty hunter for collecting a bounty.
Yeah, they can, man. They don't like your type around here, On the way out, Wolf and Johnny complained about their general treatment. They don't want these jerks' money, so instead they just toss their fat stacks of bills into the cap of a nearby mutant space beggar. It's a good cause. It's in a good cause now.
Yeah,
he seems to do that for every great payout they get. They always give it away, don't they?
Definitely. It's very, very A-team sort of move where the big payouts they end up giving back to the town or something like that for sure.
Unless they go on a gambling party spree.
But even when they did the gambling party spree, they ended up giving all their money to those Milton Keynes guys that were trying to earn money for the town,
Yeah.
Next time on Strontium Dog, excitements is bad for our poor hearts.
Grog! It's a grog!
That's
stoked.
An exciting preview.
I got to say, boys, I almost feel the same way about the Gronk as I do. What?
Sorry, you just cut out. Oh, I don't know.
I almost feel the same way about the Gronk as I do about Walter.
Oh no!
I do not blame for that. I see where that logic is coming from, and I respect it because I hate Walter the robot.
Listen, I hate Walter too, but I like the Gronk, man. He's fun. Maybe he.
Oh, do you know what?
I feel like I feel. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, so what I remember once though we had at school, so it would have been at this time about 10 years old, we had to do a story, and I have a monster in it, and I just I used the Gronk as my monster.
Oh wow! I mean, like I just feel like for me. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Because first of all, I put down. I didn't care about school, to tell you the truth. I mean, there might be a teaching up. I didn't care about school, and I said to my mum, "Look, I've got to do the story." She said, "Just put down the Jabberwocky."
Wow.
And I had no idea what the Jabberwocky was. You see, I was only 10.
Right.
I had no idea. So I took it in, and the teacher said, "That's not original." Do you know what I mean? You got to do that again. So I went home, picked up the comic, and first thing I saw was the Gronk. Put that in there,
Nice.
described it. I think I got full marks, so it was good. Good time.
Hey,
Yeah.
someone wasn't reading comic books.
These
Exactly.
adults, I was just going to say
Well, I
that.
thought
Oh, good. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I think for me the big difference is that in those early days of 2000 AD, they were just trying to give us Walter all over the place. Like I feel like he was really omnipresent in the comic, which I think really added to my dislike of him over the Gronk, who's still who mostly just hangs out in Strontium Dog and is silly as opposed to being like a full like mascot for the comic the way that Walter was, I guess.
That robot. I'm so glad he's gone.
Indeed. But let's keep moving and go to Blueprint 4, Planet of the Damned.
Hooray, barbarism.
Script Pat Mills is R.E. Wright, Art Pena, lettering robot Tom Frame. On the strange other world, on the other side of the Bermuda Triangle, some clouds are rolling in as the survivors huddle in a cave. It starts to rain, and starved for water.
Oh, he literally is doing the singing in the rain bed.
Yeah, listen. A dude runs out, going full Gene Kelly, but he can barely get a stanza of "I'm Singing in the Rain" going.
Face.
Before the rain is clearly 100% acid. He quickly heals down to a skeleton.
I mean,
God, awesome.
instantly. Yeah, it's brilliant. But you know what? I don't know. I didn't hear your first hour, what you're talking about, but I did catch the last bit of your previous episode. Mm-hmm. And did you vote this one the least favorite?
Yeah. This is our bottom thrill for sure.
Well, I thought this was just at the time. This was great.
Oh yeah,
man,
because, and I'll tell you why. Because first of all, the deaths in Planet of the Damned are great.
There are some extreme deaths.
You got to appreciate when we're reading comics. We read Action 2000 AD and this, and we just I don't really care about stories. I just cared about people dying in the most horrific ways, And this gave it to me straight away. Look at that page. It's just all there.
Oh, for sure,
just all coming out.
This melty dude, for sure.
But we had. Do you ever heard of that author in the 70s called Von Daniken, Eric Von Daniken?
Yeah. Was it Chariot of the
Chariots
Gods?
of the Gods.
Yeah, ancient alien stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It did various Gold of the Gods, and he had all these alien conspiracies and this sorts of stuff as well. But he was huge. And of course, the Bermuda Triangle was huge as well at the time. I even went to the cinema and saw a film called The Bermuda Triangle.
Oh yeah.
It was great. So when this came along, again, it's just tapping into that whole milieu of conspiracy and everything else. So it's brilliant. Yeah, but that acid that's some strong acid, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
The toughest stuff.
So beautiful.
I love the
Oh.
which as well afterwards when the acid rain finishes, they're able to walk out in the acid rain. So where it's been.
It gets absorbed quickly. It's a sponge-like surface of a planet.
Yeah.
Why not? That's the key.
It's so right. They're just able to walk around. It's that barbarian lifestyle,
So Flint calls this guy a fool. It's hard to disagree. We learned that he got warped here from 150 years ago, so time is out of joint here as well, just FYI. They're making their way to a place called Sanctuary as the Statler and Waldorf of this new world, businessman Kerr and sci-fi writer Hackman complain.
I don't even want to be a barbarian.
They need to die.
They march their way through the beating sun, Flint pushing them onwards. Eventually, though, they do arrive at a stream of drinkable water. Hooray. And
not acid water.
When they do, everyone takes a break. Flint warns them to just drink the water, not mess with anything else. So, of course, a lady named Helen immediately spots some kind of mongoose lizard and goes to hug it. I'm going to move over here so everybody can see it.
This is so
and it turns out to be a scary bloat
Isn't
monster that attacks her. Oh, no.
Like her face.
It's just eating her face.
You see what I mean, Fox? It's just so good, isn't it?
I love the teeth. It has that very what was the movie? Was it The Dark Crystal? That thing with the giant mouth.
They also they used it as well in Galaxy Quest. Remember when they're on that?
Oh,
yeah.
But when I remember as a kid at this time as well, they were doing reruns of like sci-fi and horror films on the BBC or wherever it was, and they showed late at night. I managed to see it. Barbarella.
Oh no!
And do you remember the bit? Barbarella with the dolls with the teeth when they're coming at her.
I think so. It's been a while since I've seen Barbarella. I got to say, I remember the sex organ. That's the big one. That's the big part I remember.
Oh yeah.
You see, as a kid, that passed me by. But as a kid, it was
they're like Chinese dolls. They're like regular dolls, but they just start opening up with the sharp teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just. I remember at the time, that's all mixed up in this. The whole imagery of this, these cute things with these fangs that can rip your face off. Love it.
Definitely. So
it's tearing out your ribbons.
The others are helpless to help this lady until Flint finally shows up and just axes it off her face, basically.
And then eats it.
He starts eating it. Kerr's freaked out by the gauchness. Meanwhile, the lady Helen has died of shock, as you do.
All right.
Brilliant.
And Kerr's had enough of this. He's heading back to the plane. They'll wait to be rescued. This can't be another planet. That's just dumb. And I got a half-page ad here for Strontium Dog on this page. What is a Gronk? Who is Papa Porca? And then sort of for this game, Star Blast, which we'll see next issue, another one of these giant multi-issue board games that they have in these 70s comics and stuff.
Oh no, that's so great. I love it. I miss the 70s comics, man.
Listen, it's a whole thing,
It's the Wild West of bizarre things.
Definitely. A bunch of folks head off with Kerr into the wilderness, and Flint says, let them go. But they're immediately attacked by a band of ab-humans. Oh, geez. Flint, because they're close enough, goes to help them. He kills one, and they return to the others just in time to see that hundreds of ab-humans are on their way to kill them all. Next time...
Not enough axes.
Definitely. Next time, out of the way, kids. Charlie's Angels are coming through.
Oh, please say it's the real Charlie's Angels.
Sad.
No.
Sadly, not. Instead, it's just a more complicated thing.
And I have to say, again, I don't know what you thought about the design of those ab-humans, but I thought they were great. It's really weird.
They're gross
really
skin sacks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're real baggy and gross, pretty much.
Yeah, I love it.
I like it. Good bad guy design.
Definitely. And that takes us to our final story, Blueprint 5, Robusters.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah, script robot Pat Mills, art robot. Oh my God, just writers, just script Pat Mills, art Carlos Pino, lettering robot Peter Knight. On Devil's Island, 28 miles off the South American coast, the praying mantis lands. It's the most advanced multi-role rescue vehicle in the world, and it's made up of smaller ships that can do a bunch of extra stuff.
Hell yeah, it's a playset.
Definitely.
It is. It's Thunderbirds. It's love. I love it.
Oh yeah.
It's 100% Thunderbirds.
But you know what? They didn't really use the praying mantis enough, I thought. But I think later on we got if I stand corrected, I'm fine. But I'm sure we got a cross section at some point.
Oh yeah,
that
was always the big joke about Robusters to me, was that when it came to 2000 AD, they did like a 6-week series of cutaway schematics of all the different pieces of the praying mantis. The praying mantis hadn't appeared in 2000 AD yet, and when it finally did, after like months of showing all the different pieces, it was in Rise and Fall of Rojaws and Hammerstein, so it was immediately destroyed. So crazy. This opening section calls it the Locust several times, but I'd say not to worry about that. The craft is being refueled and prepped for launch by all the robots as we see Howard Quartz walking around trying to sell this ship to a general with a Starfleet emblem on his chest. It's the Space Force.
10% off for germ warfare disasters. 5% for atomic explosions.
Definitely. Quartz explains the Robusters are great because they're all robots, so it doesn't matter if they live or die. Meanwhile, the robot staff is talking amongst themselves, and we get some backstory here. We learned that Rojaws was a war droid, and we see his previous head and stuff like that. He killed untold number of humans until his first head was blown off by a Lazuka. And it seems that, even in the military, he dealt with some anti-robot sentiment. Oh, geez. He killed the dude that blew off his head with his bare hands and then almost kills Rojaws reenacting it.
I mean, can't kill Rojas.
Yeah.
Neck's too thick.
Totally. Barely has one.
It's really just a cylinder with wonderful face.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that robot.
MechQuake says he'd like to be in war. And listen, he'll get his chance at some point.
Big war!
In the far future,
Oh,
Big
God.
jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be doing
Age
some
of
real
Nemesis.
big jobs.
That's right. At the same time,
Talking about Star Wars, you go up. Sorry.
oh yeah, listen, like it's all Star Wars related. I'm just saying that, eventually MechQuake will become a giant war mech in the pages of Nemesis. At the same time, Quartz is giving the grand tour. An army lady thinks Rojaws is cute, and we're going to be hearing that a lot as time goes by, I must say.
That's because he is adorable and he smells like vomit and poop.
Definitely. Quartz tells these bots to shove off, and the boys wonder what the next disaster will be. Speaking of which, 100 miles away, a strange red mist falls over an alligator ranch in Florida.
This is what you guys were talking about before.
Yeah.
This is... this isn't real.
Yeah, it is. Come on. Where do you think they get the leather for your beloved handbags and fancy boots, Fox? Alligator Ranch is the answer. I don't think it looks like this, though.
Alligator shirts. Thank you very much.
Ooh. The alligators start to swarm. Both the gators and the humans nearby are going kill crazy. Oh, no.
Wow.
Back at Robuster's base, Quartz.
He's got a rainbow phone set.
Yeah,
that's
well,
great.
that's how he knows what line you're calling him on. They're in color.
How big the job is.
I got to call on. I got to call on green for you.
That's so amazing.
But yeah, Quartz gets a call on his orange phone for the general. A dangerous insanity gas has been dumped in the Florida swamps. Has leaked out. Everybody's going crazy because of it. It sounds like a perfect job.
Insanity gas.
There was a war, They built like it's probably left over from the one Hammerstein fought in against the Vogans. Will later retcon. But this is a perfect job for the Robusters. Next time, I'm going after that giant gator.
Oh, awesome.
And with that...
Yeah, again...
Oh, sorry, please.
Oh, yeah. No, carry on. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh,
No
I was going to say, with that, we finished our story, our blueprints for the second issue of Starlord. Oh, man. Fantastic. And with that, I have one question for you. Let's start with James. I must say...
Yeah.
What were your top and bottom blueprints for this issue?
Well, I'm going to put my 10-year-old head on now, yeah?
Please.
So as a 10-year-old, I think the one I would have least enjoyed would probably be mine. Yeah. I
Really?
think yeah.
Nice. No, that's fair
I
for
think
sure.
so. Because, you've got this, she controls the ship and she wakes up the dead and everything else, but there's not enough gore in there, really, for me.
I mean, that's
Do you know
fair.
what I mean?
Not enough.
So-
That is fair.
There's just simply not. You need that. So Timequake was brilliant. I love the drones, the cigar in the nostril, and the appearing in the box. That was great. Love that. Strontium Dog was really, really good. Robusters, was good too. I like that, describing how. But my top three would be Planet of the Damned.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
I love Planet of the Damned. That's really, really good. And that was so top three were Planet of the Damned, bottom three were Mind Wars. There you go. But the others were close. How about you?
Oh man, Fox, how about you? What's your tops and bots for this one?
I am gonna say my bottom. I'm gonna join you, and I'm gonna put Mind Wars in there. It's on setup mode right now.
It is the first issue for sure.
Yeah, I'm all into this. Doing psychic things seems kind of neat. I like missile ships. Weird incest I could do without. But it's pretty good. But my top babies is going to be fucking Timequake. A man unfreezes a giant T-Rex that then eats another man and then
an alien
cigar.
Man. Yeah,
it's the classic Bill Savage conundrum that I have here. He is just killing people with inanimate shit or a T-Rex. It's
There's
great.
that big explosion, when they warp into that filing cabinet. That's a real solid moment for sure.
The only negative I'll say is that there's a little too much exposition for my liking, but again, I think that's just the nature of getting people.
Yeah,
people
very
into
much
it.
a symptom of issue 2, I think.
Conrad,
Ooh.
give me them tops and bots, baby.
Oh, buddy. I think I'll join I'll join James with a Planet of the Damned as my top. Really pulled it out here, just with various gruesome murders. Excellent stuff.
Hell yeah.
That guy, he sang "Singing in the Rain" and then he melted from acid. I don't know what you want. It's more than that.
Yeah.
And then the crazy alien eating that lady's face. That's real awesome too. And then just abhuman swarm. So this is great. Just slapstick murder that I really appreciate. For bottom, I'm going to say Robusters this time. Very much a setup, just like they spent a lot of time talking about the praying mantis, a lot of time to sort of talk about the idea of Robusters and stuff. We kind of didn't get to the actual start of a mission until the last 2 pages. So it's not really doing it for me at this moment, but ready to have it pulled out once these gators start biting people. That's what I'm interested in.
Oh man, going gator crazy.
Absolutely. Oh man. Okay, fantastic. Thanks so much for coming in, James. Absolutely, really appreciate it.
No, it's a pleasure, and good to meet you, Fox.
Yeah, good to meet you too.
Definitely.
This is fun. I'm really enjoying this. Like this extra funny. Plus, I got to learn a bunch. I mean, Conrad's usually the one giving me the history lesson, so it's really neat meeting you, man, and really fun to kind of share this with you.
Yeah, many more to come for sure. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, just saying, while you're both on, absolutely love the podcast. Keep it up. It's fantastic.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I hope everybody enjoyed the show. If you like what you're hearing, you can check out our weekly podcast about 2000 AD on your favorite podcast provider. If you came in here by accident, I guess, you can contact us at spacespinner2000@gmail.com, on the 2000 AD forums, or on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter pages, Twitter at spacespinner2k, everything else spacespinner2000. You'll find us there. If you'd really like to support us, and we truly appreciate it, feel free to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Crataline. That's our podcast network. And check out the links to collected editions of the comics that we're talking about below. There are amazing works, awesome artists, worth your time. James, where can we find you on the internet if you'd like to be found?
Nowhere.
Fair.
Anonymity.
Super fair.
No, you can if you want to, but nothing. I don't do anything 2000 related apart from this. So, yeah.
Fair.
All right. But,
all right.
Well, that's about it, really. Yeah. But, love what you do. Thank you very much for inviting me. That was fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on in our second hour, getting this kicked off. And everyone else, come back next hour sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, finishing up. Come back next time as Timequake meets Time Cop, Robusters meets some loonies, Planet of the Damned meets some soldiers, Mind War meets a courtroom, and Johnny Alpha and Wolf meet the Gronk. Until then, I'm Conrad, they're Fox and James, and we are the Space Spinner Starlordathon. Keep watching the skies.
The skies. That's it. That's the one.
You got it, buddy. All right. See you on the hour.
Cheers.